come against the nervousness and the fear because it is not of you, neither is confusion. Nothing that is negative comes from you. So God, I just pray for your peace right now to overwhelm us now in Jesus' name. Holy Spirit, have your way. This is what we ask, that Holy Spirit, have your way. Whatever you want to do tonight, you can do it. If you want to flip the script, you can go ahead and do that too. I promise you, I won't kick and buck. So Lord, have your way in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
One question.
Yeah.
Are there any tissues on deck? I am a crybaby. I am a crybaby.
Chris is running, boys.
I mean, I know me. I have happy tears. I have sad tears. I got them all.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to Momma Work It podcast. I am so excited to announce two beautiful guests that I have on the show today. And one is named Mellissa and the other is named Latonya. Listen, when I tell y'all I am excited, I'm just like so elated because these are two warriors that I have, one on each side of me. So first we are going to go through their bios so you get a little gist about who they are. So my girl Latonya over here, Latonya Daniels Jackson. She is a native of New Haven, Connecticut, and is the owner and founder of Only One Touch Beauty Experts and Tame Indian Hair Suppliers. So this hair I got in my hair is it?
Yes, ma'am.
She did my hair. She is a proud graduate of Empire Beauty School in Atlanta, Georgia. And Latonya is also a certified Christian life coach from Light University, whose focus and passion is mentoring young, new beauty professionals entering the cosmetology industry. Her journey from the adult entertainment industry and music industry as a video vixen and exotic dancer to a serial entrepreneur is an inspirational story of redemption to many women and men. Latonya, affectionately known as Tanya, or T-Touch, is a proud wife and mother of 4. Her hard work, dedication, and success has been recognized and awarded on several occasions on many platforms for businesses and motherhood. Actually, for business and motherhood, sorry. Trying to read right. She has unapologetically shared her testimony at women empowerment events across Connecticut. She proudly shares her skills, knowledge, and gifts with anyone who needs it. By the grace of God, she will be releasing the autobiography of her life. And of God, she will be releasing, of her life this year. This year, y'all. This year. And opening an extended education program that will bridge the gap between cosmetology school and behind the chair. So she is a true example of what God will do when you surrender to his plan. Now if that ain't a story, I don't know.
I'm not yet, y'all.
But we are going to dive deep into her story because, listen, she got a story that'll make you believe in Jesus. I'm telling you.
Amen.
Seriously.
And over here on my right side is lovely Mellissa Clark Smith, to be exact, from Connecticut, and she is a stylist and entrepreneur. So she is a skilled hairstylist as well and a dedicated entrepreneur. She is 49 and fine, y'all. She just had a birthday. Look at her.
Okay.
With 3 children, 2 boys and a daughter, 18, 15, and 10. And she's been married for 18 plus years.
Wow.
Definitely something to commend. Mellissa created a space to uplift women and her community. She is on a mission to empower and inspire, which I truly believe. Dear Sarah, that's one of them, focuses on events planning, while the Eden collection, did y'all get a good look at her earrings?
Listen.
Her earrings, okay?
I'm getting some.
And her hair by Mellissa will keep you styled for any occasion. So she is not just a one person kind of no, she is doing a bunch of different things. And Mellissa, I wanted to start with you real quick. Can you kind of like dive it a little bit into what Dear Sarah is and the Eden collection and, you know, your hair? How does that all kind of tingle together?
Okay, so the hair, I think being a hairstylist was the platform for all of the things now, the Dear Sarah and the Eden collection. And so with the Eden collection, how that came about is I had gone through a little dry spell where I didn't quite feel like myself and I wasn't dressing anymore. I wasn't doing all of the things that I'm doing today. And so one of our colleagues, she reached out to me and said, hey, what's going on? Like, you're not yourself, you're not dressing, you're not wearing your hair, you're not doing anything. So then I started back, coming back into adorning myself. And then that's when everyone was like, you should start selling earrings. And I was like, okay, God, all you take is 2 people.
Right.
And it's a confirmation. So that's how the Eden collection came about. And then with Dear Sarah, I have my own story of how, God made me a promise and I became impatient. And impatience can also mean you feel like you're not qualified. Mm-hmm. You may feel like you don't have the resources, or you're not educated, or you're, cultural background, whatever it is. But however, we all come to a point where we feel like he may not do what we want him to do or what he's promised us. So I felt compelled to start a mission and start a group of women that we can all come back together and believe God for his promises, and also encourage one another to believe God for his promises.
I love that.
So you see how this whole setup is. Thank you so much, Chris. This is his business. And you can also take advantage of this as well if you are in the Connecticut area. If you want to come and just do it yourself, if you want to bring a couple of people along with you, that is A-OK. Please reach out to him. He is on Instagram, and that is Free F-R-I-I branding. And I will definitely have that in the description as well. So I wanted to get started. So I had a couple of questions that I want to ask you ladies. And the first one is do you feel like you are walking in your purpose? And I'm going to start with you, Latonya.
I do. I feel like I'm working in my purpose, finally.
Okay, that finally part. Like,
finally. Right. I do feel like I am.
Okay.
Of course, you feel like there's more. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
I'm in his will right now.
Okay, I love that. You said right
now. I'm in his will right now.
that was a Dear Sarah moment. Right. Like I moved too fast at one time.
Exactly.
And what about you, Mellissa?
I definitely feel like I'm walking in my purpose, because along with purpose comes pain, and comes the push. And so that's where I am now. I'm pushing through pain, and that's going to bring about the purpose that I'm actually living through.
Yes.
Dang, you said pushing through pain. That made me really think of a baby. Like, listen, there is something that is in all of us.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. You can be pregnant with your mission. You could be pregnant with your assignment, and you have to deliver it at some point. But in order to deliver it, you are going to have to go through some pain, some contractions. And sorry we're correlating it to that, but it's true. Like nothing happens without hard work.
Right.
If you feel like you got it too easy, then you didn't really work for it. So how are you going to take care of it?
Right.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And actually, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose as well.
Definitely.
Neither of you know this, which is pretty cool. When I started this podcast, I was in a sense begging for people to come on. I was like, I need people. I need this. I need that. And I just kept going, though. It was very up and down. I had really no direction for my podcast. I was like, it's Mama work it, so that's what I'm going to do. Whatever came to my mind is what I said, and it was audio at first. And recently, this year, I said, okay, I'm going to get back on it, and I'm not going to, actually, I did. I put a post out that said, if you want to be on the podcast. But I didn't take it serious. I was like, no one responded. So, okay, God, I did it, you know?
Right.
And when you reached out to me, I got overly excited because I was like, oh, wait, did she see the post? Like,
I did not.
Oh, my God.
I had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Her response was, she was like, so you're going to put me on your podcast? Something like that. It wasn't even a question as of, hey, can I be on it? She was almost like, so when are we doing this? I was like, okay, let me get a date. Hold on a second.
Really quick. Do you remember when we were at your church? You had an event in August at the Trumbull Marriott.
I remember.
And you were like, I would like for you to come on the podcast. And
I
said, God, you said remind them of your word. So I'm remind her. She said she wanted
that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I never forgot.
See, this is why I feel like I'm walking in my purpose.
Yes, because it
wasn't
full circle.
And then you, okay, so I don't know if you saw the post, but I don't know if you saw the post, but
I don't think I seen that post.
Okay,
no.
so now I know it's God. Now I know for a fact that it's God.
Right.
So this is why I feel like I am walking in it, and I can only say what God tells me to say, and usually what He tells me to say is people may not like it.
Right.
He's like,
Right.
you need to tell your story. And I'm like, I don't know, because family members might feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if I do say it, then he has my back.
Exactly.
Because the next one is coming is going to be my divorce. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's got me shaking. He's like, do it. I'm like, okay. So I
got your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope y'all got my back.
I
too.
got your back.
Got your back. We got your back.
Okay, so the next question is are you embracing your authenticity while doing so, as in walking in your purpose?
Yes, I think I am.
Okay.
I mean, I've always felt different. I mean, everybody's unique, but not everybody can accept that. And I am at a place now where it is what it is. I am who I am.
I like that.
And I love who God has created. He be instructing me to do some crazy stuff, but I'm comfortable now to just do it because he's just shown himself to always have my back. So
Okay.
yeah, I am.
I love that. Come on, I need to hang around you more. Let that rub off
I
on
am.
me.
It's scary a little bit too.
It is. That's the part. What about you, Mellissa?
I definitely think that I'm walking in my authentic self. I definitely think that's the question, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I am a talker, and I am not ashamed of my testimony at all. And so I believe that the beauty of my testimony is when I share it, people are like, "Oh no, not you!" I'm like, "Yes, me.
Yes.
Did that." And I can tell you the repercussions of it. So I do believe that I'm walking in the most authentic version of myself at this time.
Yes.
Nice. I was going to ask what makes you authentic, but I feel like y'all kind of went there.
Right.
I would like to dive a little bit deeper, though. A little bit of your testimony. Would you mind sharing it? The part where people say, like, not you. What part about that is do people get surprised about?
Okay. Well, one of my testimonies is I won't share names because I
get
can
it.
guarantee everyone in the room knows who the individual is. But however, I did find myself in my 20s. I was in my 20s, and I was in an adulterous relationship for 8 years. And during that relationship, I lost both of my parents.
Wow.
8 years span, I lost both of my parents, and then it just became a point where, you know, no matter how much you try to do for me, I am still a secret. And you weren't able to really be there for me as I needed outwardly during both of those losses. And so I just began to pray. I remember praying, I'm like, God, I've never done drugs, and I don't I'm not here to bash anyone that has, but I do know what an addiction is. And that was an addiction. And I began to pray, and I said, God, you know my strength, and you know my desire, you know my heart. So I need you to take these feelings away from me gradually. And when I asked him to take them away gradually, it got toxic. I mean, toxic. But that's where the freedom came. And I remember reaching out to all of my family, all of my close friends, and I was like, from this day on, as a matter of fact, I was going to Bishop Mo's church, and we had a guest speaker, Iona Locke, and she preached a message, wisdom cries out in the streets. And she was just saying how God was getting ready to start uncovering. And I was like, God, I don't want you to uncover me. And so that night, I called all of my close friends and my family, and I said, if you cannot find me, come and get me from the apartment. But I didn't need that anymore because my mind was made up.
Right.
And so now when I share that story, they're like, no way. And I'm like, yes. And I can also, also to encourage women, like there's a level of low self-esteem that you possess, that you own in order to be someone else's side. You're a side chick. I don't care how you want to slice it, dice it. I don't care if he's living with you, because we was living together. I don't care if he's living with you. I don't care if you got an engagement ring on your finger. You a side chick. And the biggest thing I would like to let be known in the message is, you will reap what you sow.
It's true.
You will reap what you sow. I don't care how big and bad you are. You're going to reap what you sow. So to anyone watching that's out here doing that and this and the third, you're going to reap what you sow.
Yeah, it's true.
I love how, so there was accountability there, because that ending, you said, listen, if you don't hear from me,
Absolutely.
you better come get me.
My mind was made up. My mind, God had finally given me the courage. My mind was made up. My mind was made up.
I love that. And it's crazy because you said secret, you know, and you couldn't post him on Facebook.
I'm glad Facebook wasn't around because we would have been in some trouble.
For real.
We would have been in some trouble.
What?
But yeah.
I was thinking about, so like after my divorce, we were separated for a little bit. So I started dating because I didn't know you could do that. Like, I know it's frowned upon and shunned upon, but like I was in a little backslidden state. And when I was dating, I realized I was still in secret. You know, like I couldn't really enjoy my relationships like I wanted to. Yeah. And then on top of that, they weren't even really ready to commit anyways. Right. And I could have been a side chick too and not have even known it. Not even known it because I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. They won't commit. They won't. Like, yet I still didn't let go of, you know, I was in the process of divorce. I wasn't divorced yet. Right. So that whole secret thing is really getting me. Yeah. It's getting me because I'm like, I want a relationship that I could be open about. Right. And I'm not saying, you know, a lovey-dovey on Facebook all the time, but feeling free about it. Right. That part.
Yes.
So I love that. And your testimony, I read a little bit of the surfacey, but what about your testimony, what people say, like, not you? What?
I was ratchet.
Not you. What?
I was a ratchet.
Girl, honey.
I don't see it.
I was ratchet. Right. And so I was a stripper.
Okay.
For 7 years.
Not you.
Yes, me.
What do you do? See how you do that? I'm cleaning us up from the inside
No residue.
No residue at all.
I don't care how many times I tell this story. The girls at my salon just be like, I'm like, for real. Yeah. So I've always had like a level of
class.
Because that's I did. Even doing that, I did. But I say I was ratchet because my mind was just not right. My thought process was not right. It was ratchet. I mean, really ratchet. Like, I mean, just for example, I drink a lot in the club because that wasn't me. Like, I was a dancer naturally, so I love entertainment, which is part of the reason why I got into the industry, because I could entertain and I could talk to people, I could make money, and I'm my own boss, basically, right? So it sounds like the perfect deal.
It does sound perfect.
It sounds perfect, right? So, you know, I really was not comfortable, but I made myself comfortable. So I drank a lot. And I would be so intoxicated at the end of the night, and I would go pick up my son like that and not remember how we got home. So that's what I mean by I was ratchet. Like, I made things that I was doing okay that was not okay at all.
Wow.
So, yeah, people don't believe me. My husband, it's one thing when you tell him, but then when you show him, it's another thing. So even he heard the stories, but, you know, again, it's hard to see when God cleaned you up and he don't leave no residue. It's hard. I always say, I said it today, I said, I wish I had a crystal ball that I could just, you know, show my past so they could see, because it's hard. But when you're sharing your testimony and you get into the feelings at that moment and little details, people know you've been there. But I showed my husband a photo shoot I did back then. Girl, he almost cut me off. He was like,
committed
what?
now.
I'm like, you heard? You know I was doing this. But it's one thing when you see it. You know what I'm saying? But people do not believe I was. Today, the girls at the shop we was talking, they was like, I cannot see you like just getting drunk. I can't even handle a glass of wine these days. But they just, they don't see it. That's and I have clients who are dancers. So when they hear us talking, you know, I know the life. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, you really was out there. I'm like, no, I was out there for 7 years. Yeah.
Thank God for his keeping
power. That's what deliverance is. That's what deliverance looks like.
Listen.
Yeah. When you're fully delivered from something, there is no residue. There is no smoke. There's no trace of it at all.
No. Yeah. But
right.
But that's it. Yeah. They're like, oh, now I can see. I'm like, really?
Right.
When you said how like you were basically an entrepreneur back then, right? 7 years ago, what you were doing. You know, you were doing all the right things, just the wrong way in a sense.
Yep.
And now you're doing all the right things the right way.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen that before. I feel like.
Girl, I think I shared this before, that I always had that I don't belong here. Like, I belong out there, like getting it on a big stage. I always see myself bigger, but I couldn't wait for God. I couldn't, I mean, I didn't even know how to wait for God. I grew up in the church and still didn't know how to wait, how to even really have a talk with him for real, real life. So I just had that desire, right? And I went full speed chasing it. And detoured into, you know, into that. And the enemy thought he had me locked down.
So let me ask you, did you have like a personal, did you have a relationship with God and you were just kind of fighting it and you didn't want to listen, or you didn't have a relationship with him? Like, it's one thing to know him, but it's another to have a relationship.
Right.
Would you say like back at that time, were y'all like this?
I didn't know what a relationship with God was.
Okay. All right.
No.
Okay. So how did you know, like, what was your encounter that made you kind of turn? Like, what was that?
So someone else asked me that. It was hard for me to pinpoint because it was so many. Like, I've had people sent into the club to actually prophesy to me in the club, speak to me in the club over time. And I had my moment, I go in the back and I cry because I know, but I go back to what I'm doing. And I just felt like God knows his children. And at the time, money was my thing, so he started stripping me of that. So I found myself working doubles.
Wow.
And still owing the club and still owing my babysitter. It just wasn't making sense, you know? And then I was dating this guy who was a really good guy. I mean, he was a really good guy. He used to watch my son while I slept during the day, watch him while I work at night. And he had dreams and aspirations. And I ended up getting pregnant, and it hurt him because he wanted to go back to school. He was a little younger than me too. And he grew up in a prestigious home. I didn't really. So I knew if you get pregnant, you ain't got the money, because he was still, he was young. Go to the state. So when I took him to the state, oh my God, he's looking around like, what the heck? And this is normal to me. And long story short, I ended up losing the baby. And he broke it off with me so that he can go do all the things that he said he wanted to do. So at first, of course, it hurt. But what it did for me was it made me take a step into who I know I am.
Wow.
So losing him, because I don't know, I get this electric shock when I get, you know what I mean? I'm I'm about to just take over the world now. You try to play me? Yeah. So, but he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And when he left to better himself, I said, I'm going to better myself.
You leveled up.
I did.
Wow.
It was tough, but I said, I know I'm supposed to be doing more.
Yep.
Yeah. So at that time, I was just like, I ain't making no money. This is ridiculous. I would cry like crazy, drunk, driving home. I can't even see because I'm crying so hard because I just want to be done with the life. And he finally released me. But that still was not easy because that was my bread and butter. So I quit cold turkey, like he told me to, and went to cosmetology school full time. And I was 30 years old. So it wasn't even like I was no young spring chicken. I had a son that I couldn't really take care of. So I sent him home to Connecticut, and I thugged it out for almost a year and a half.
But you did it.
I did it.
Like,
you did it.
Did that.
I did it.
And being a mom at the same time, you did that. Did you feel like, so y'all are separated, you and your son, for a little bit until how did you feel?
I felt, you know what? We were separated before so I started dancing in New York. I was going back and forth. So there was a lot of separation there. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I got down there, got situated, and then I brought him with me. So he was with me in Atlanta. Then I had to send him back. But in my mind, I always felt like I'm doing this for him.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was just thankful that I had somewhere safe for him to be. Because even when he was with me, you see, I was driving home drunk with him in the car. He wasn't safe. I wasn't in my right mind. I'm not making the right choices. You know what I mean? I was still a young mother. You know what I mean? Away from home, from everybody. I didn't move to Atlanta with any family. I moved by myself. So that was the first time I was actually being a quote unquote parent, away from my mom, who was his parent.
Yeah.
So I was doing my best, but I always felt like I'm doing it all for him. You know, even when it wasn't right.
I love your mindset because I've seen that before. I've known people who went to college and they left their kids with their mom so that they could do, and I'm sure that was their thought process. I'm sure of it. Mellissa, for you, like, when you were going through that whole ordeal, did you have a relationship with God? Like, did you know who God was at that moment? Were you kind of like fighting it, or was it like, I didn't know God? This is what I know.
So I knew God. The unfortunate part of the story is this was a church kind of scandal. So I was in the church, sang in the choir, all of the things, but there was something broken inside of me.
Yeah.
And I was searching for something, and at that time it fed that need inside of me.
Yeah.
And so then as you continue on in your sin, then you draw further away from God. But I knew God, not the way that I know him now, but I did know God. I knew one thing for sure, I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong.
Okay.
I knew that if God came for me at any point during that time, I was not gonna make it to see him. So I knew that.
I was going down.
But my personal relationship with God was not what it is today.
I got you. Yeah. Listen, we all make mistakes.
Right.
I got a laundry list. I'm ready to air it out. No, but so with you then, how God, like, you know, how he spoke to you in your relationship, like, how did that go? How did it get stronger?
Well, for me, I think anytime I have pain, it pushes me to pray. And so I was in pain, although I made the conscious decision to walk away from the relationship, there still was pain.
Yeah.
And so I knew that the only way I was going to effectively, rid myself of that pain was to pray and ask God to search me, to cleanse me, to heal me, and to forgive me.
Yeah.
And so that's how,
Were you a mom at this point or not yet?
No, ma'am.
So
I wasn't married. I had never, I didn't know my husband yet. No children, none of that.
So when you got married, that's when you had all your children?
Absolutely.
High five.
Oh, wait. Whoa. I married my children's father, but I was very much 8 months pregnant walking down the aisle.
It's okay. It was his
husband.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Look, that's fine. I love your stories, like just your testimonies alone. I know you guys have many testimonies,
yes.
but those are real. Those are very relevant for women who are struggling with their self-esteem. And I wanted to come at you because you struggled with low self-esteem. So did I, but you made something out of that. And one of the questions that I was going to ask is, what in your past do you feel like has shaped you for, like, your present day, like the present day Mellissa now? Can you talk a little bit about that if you haven't already? So I don't know if it was that story or like, what do you feel like a moment, a memory that was like, this is what made me, like what made you do the earrings besides someone telling you? There had to been, because you look dope. You look dope. You walk dope.
Always.
You talk amazing. So like, how did you get here with low self-esteem? Like,
I think that, so the whole fashion side of me I was born with it. My mom was a fashionista. When I look back at the pictures, the way she dressed back then is how we aspire to dress now. So that piece was always there. But I think that, in the Black home, there's always some secrets and there's always some toxicity and things like that. So I think that's what breeded the low self-esteem, because although both my parents were in the home, there still was a lot of friction and a lot of this, a lot of the things. And so, what's the rest of the question?
Just how your past shaped who you are today.
And so I think that my past of the low self-esteem and the adultery and the, having to do the work to become who I am today shaped me to be who I am. But more so, I want women to know that you can be as fly as you want to be and be a believer for God. You can wreck the kingdom and be just as dope. You can wear your makeup.
Yes.
You can wear your earrings. You can wear your hats. You can do all of the things. Like, I want to be relatable. I don't want to be this corny Christian. I don't want to be this, this plain Jane.
For real.
This plain Jane, because there's a group of women.
Yeah.
There's a group of women out there that, they don't want this. They don't want to come in here. They don't want to wear their skirts to their ankles.
Right.
I'm not saying wear all your thigh out.
Right.
But I'm saying that, you should be able to maintain a sense of who you are for the kingdom.
Yes.
Because that's how you're going to go back and reach the others.
Absolutely.
But when you come in here and you acting holier than thou, when you forgetting where you came from and you judging, you lost.
Yeah.
It's a loss.
Period.
It's a loss.
Period.
Yeah.
There was something I was looking for that this lady said, and I'm so mad I can't find it. But she was saying, shout out to the girls who dress dope. And, can we normalize?
Right.
Can we normalize
Right.
the girls who dress fly and just congratulate them and not feel like they're seeking attention?
Right.
That's a big one,
Right.
right? Like, so you're not seeking attention. This is just who you are. Can
Right.
we normalize
Right.
saying, girl, you
Right.
look good, and
Right.
keep it moving?
And that's it.
Right. And people don't believe, like, when I say this, you probably won't believe this either, but I like to look nice, and I know that I look nice, but I have a hard time accepting the compliment.
Me too.
Like, I will divert that compliment and be like, oh, like,
Yes.
huh? Like this, or I'll just go to you and be like, oh my God, I love your
Right,
earrings.
right.
I cannot sit in that compliment.
Oh, me neither.
I just cannot sit in the compliment. And I know when I get dressed that I look nice, but there's still that sense of, don't say it. Just let me go. Just let me be.
But
Yes.
why do you
Crazy.
think that is? Is it because of how, like we were raised? Is it because like in the home, like something happened there where they say like, that false humility or whatever it is? Growing up, some people grew up as like, you are to be seen and not heard, or, just kind of like dimming down the light. So when you actually get in the light, it's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be here. You know for a fact, but the moment you get out in public and all eyes are on you, it doesn't feel good. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that. I sure enough can't take a compliment. The moment you say something, I'm trying to deflect it. I'm like, yeah, but, or girl, I got this at Goodwill, or don't
Right.
you, I dumb it down automatically. Why do we feel that is?
I think that there's still a subtle sense of unworthiness. I think that we still hold on to that. It's not a big piece. It's not what it used to be.
Right,
but there's
right.
still that little piece that's like, oh, don't say that to me. Like, no, I'm not worthy of that. I think it has to be, because what else could it be?
Right. I think, because I have a problem with that too.
Yeah.
Like, somebody would be like, oh, you look good. I'd be like, I don't know how to be. I thank you, girl. Just make it funny, right?
Yeah.
But I think for me, and it's probably different for different people, but for me, growing up, like, we didn't have like all the newest things, but I always knew how to put stuff together.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was very much liked by people. But then there was those people who hated me because of who I was, because so many people liked me.
Okay.
So I felt like I had to kind of come down so that you didn't not like me because I can do this well. I do everything well. Or you know what I'm saying? And they used to make me feel like she thinks she all that. And she thinks she could do, even in cosmetology school. Like I used to like not really participate in certain things knowing I could do it because I didn't want people to be like, oh, she thinks she thinks she, but that's just me. So for a long time, I would not be the best version of myself for other people. Like I drove my first day to cosmetology school with a magnet on the side of my car that said, touch of beauty. Like, and people were off the rip like, who she thinks she is.
Wow.
And I'm not even thinking nothing of it.
Right.
That was something that came about with my boyfriend at the time. He was selling weave and I was doing sew-ins. So remember I said he was inspired. He was pushing me to, come on, tap into what you can do. So that's where that came from. It had nothing to do with anybody else.
Right.
Me thinking I'm better than nobody or nothing, but that little thing right there sent the whole school off.
That's crazy because to me, I feel like that's a them problem.
It is.
It is.
So you intimidated them when you came in and you weren't trying to.
My whole time there.
So that makes me feel
was
like
bad.
I feel bad for them because of the way they grew up and how their mentality is. Like, you can't be bigger, you can't be better. But that's just like crabs in a barrel. Like, you're trying to make your way up and the crabs are just pulling you down. Like, that's not a way to live. We should never have to dim our light.
No.
We should never have to dumb ourselves down, especially being moms,
Yes.
right? We're all moms at this table. We have an audience of moms. Like, if you're a mom and you're dope, if you're a mom and you're creative, like you should never have to be like, oh, I'm not that creative.
Right.
Or I'm not that pretty.
Exactly.
Like, granted, it's a fact that there's always going to be someone better than you, prettier than you, that can do things, like 10 times better, but we can't worry about that.
Right.
If we all just like actually got along, and I know that's so cliche, can't we all just get along? Can't we all just say a compliment and mean it and walk away and not feel like, insecure about ourselves because like, oh, y'all dress better than me. I don't know what to. I didn't come to this podcast setup thinking like, oh, they're gonna dress better than me. Let me try to outdress them and let me. I was like, I'm gonna be comfortable, and I'm gonna wear what I'm gonna wear because this is authentically me.
Yes.
I made my own shirt that said, "This mama works it," because this is authentically me.
Yep.
So I'm like, she's gonna come in, and if they bring their stuff, let them.
Yes.
Ma'am, you got show them that mug, please. Can they see that mug right there?
Wait, how I go?
Dear
Sarah.
Like that. And what does it say on the bottom?
Promise keeper.
Promise keeper.
Yes.
And her cell phone case, I'm just gonna look that up real quick. This is her brand.
Right.
She's wearing her brand. Her earrings are her brand. So like, she's not dimming her light.
Right.
We're not. Our light is not dimmed because she came in here rocking her brand.
Right.
My light's not dimmed.
No,
She
ma'am.
looks absolutely beautiful in her red lipstick. Her light is not dimmed either. So all that to say,
And the shape is shaping. The shape is shaping. You hear
That's
me?
one thing that would be like,
The shape is shaping.
can I get some of that?
I mean, the shape is shaping. You hear me? Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not mad
At all. At all.
I'm not mad
At all.
You look beautiful, sis.
Thank you.
So like, it's good to. I think we might feel uncomfortable with the compliments, but yet. Just keep it and just keep it and know like, okay, those are flowers at the end of the day for us. And if we give them back to God at the end of the night and say, thank you, Jesus, because I don't look like what I've been through.
Amen.
Right.
Maybe that's how we need to look at it nowadays.
Right.
And if people don't like the way we are, it's okay.
Right.
It's for them.
It's
We got to
okay.
pray for them.
Yes.
Because automatically when you said that, I was like, oh, the poor people.
Yes.
Like, who hurt them?
Right.
Like, what happened in their past that made them like, not want to like you?
Right.
Yeah.
You're a very likable person. I
Yes.
love you.
Right.
I love you too.
I love you both. Right.
So I am so happy. I'm so ecstatic that I get to share with you ladies, and you guys are sharing with me and my audience.
Yes.
And when I came on here, I didn't really know how the direction was really going to go. I was super nervous. I think we all were kind of nervous. Like, what's going to happen here?
Yes.
But I mean, the goal is for us to be authentic and to be our authentic selves and to really be transparent, because that's the only way that other people are going to get set free.
Right.
The Mama Work It podcast is all about moms that are working it. Women, I've even had women on here that are not moms yet, but they are motherly figures that they're also working it. They have businesses. They aspire to be business owners. They're just moms that, they don't even have to be business owners, just moms that aren't stuck or desire not to stay stuck. They want to keep moving and they want to keep doing things, and they're realizing who they are. This series is talking about coming out of the closet, right? Yes. Telling our testimonies and being free about telling them so others can get free. So as we are ending this session, I just kind of want you ladies just to give your last words. Like, what would you tell a mom that is listening to this podcast right now? She desires to work it. She's just a little afraid to do so. Mellissa, what would you tell our audience?
I would tell the mom, you're worth it. And at the end of the day, always choose you. We wear a lot of hats. We work. We have children. we're wives, we're all of the things, but where we go wrong is we don't make time for ourselves. Yes. And however that looks, if it's a cup of coffee, if it's a run to the store, I like Target. If it's just taking an extra 10 minutes at night to watch, to listen to a podcast, whatever that is for you, but find the joy in each day that it brings you. And so that way you will always have room in your cup to pour for the next day.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for your children.
Yes. Yes. My turn. What I would say to the moms is to have grace for yourself. It is okay to make mistakes. We do not have a book on how to raise our children or how to do life other than the Bible. Right. So give yourself grace and understand that your children need to see grace.
Amen.
So that they don't beat themselves up in the process of going through this life. And listen, everything works out for our good.
All of it.
At the end of the day.
It does.
Every single piece. Yes. So give yourself grace.
I love that. When you said that, it reminded me of, when you said your children, like, let your children see that, you give yourself grace because they need it too. Your children, as they're watching you in your process, don't shut them out.
No.
Because they're with you through the bad, right? Yep. They've already seen the worst of it. Now they're in the middle with you. When you get to that point where you're like, Mama, I made it.
Yes.
They're going to be able to rejoice with you.
Yes.
They're going to be like, Ma, I remember when, but look at us now. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like in the middle, about to hit that peak. I know I am. I feel it. I feel
it's
it.
Coming. It's coming.
And it was like they seen where we didn't have anything, where we had to leave our apartment, where we didn't have any food, like where we didn't have our own, and now all of a sudden, like, things are starting to come together. They're a little bit more happier. My daughter's about to go to college. She's like, where the money coming from? I said, don't you worry about that. I was like, God's got it.
Look at that.
So this last part, I wanted to ask y'all, and I probably should have did this before the last words, but I want to know, how are y'all working it? Because y'all are moms, business owners, entrepreneurs, new projects. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot going on. How do you handle it all with that and your children? I'll go with you, Grace.
I'm riding off grace.
Yeah,
I'm riding off grace. I'm riding off grace. It hit home when she said, we have to extend grace because I know in this season that I'm in right now, pushing through the pain, I'm not dotting every I and crossing every T with my kids, but I thank God for His grace and His mercy. And that's all I got. It's just grace. I get up and I thank God that He gives me the strength and the endurance to do the necessary things. But sometimes you don't got much left after that. After you make sure that you got enough money to pay the bills, you make sure the kids have eaten and all those things. The rest is on grace.
The
rest is on grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you 110%. Felt that here.
Yes.
You have anything different to say? Like, you want to add on to that? Because that was pretty much in a nutshell.
For real. We do.
Was like,
have,
you gotta do a shirt. We riding off grace.
Yes.
We riding off grace.
Yes, it's the truth, though.
Right. And I'm fueling up at Mercy Pump because that's all I got. I don't got nothing else.
I love it. I love it.
Really.
Jesus. Yeah. I got 4 kids. He would say, how do you do it? I was like, don't ask me that.
I don't even know.
Right.
When I think about it, I get tired. So don't ask me.
For real.
How can we find you guys? So, like, you got some socials, Insta, Facebook. I almost said Twitter. I think Twitter's gone now. TikTok. Where can we find you at?
So, I got a lot of pages. No, I'm just kidding. So, you can find me on Facebook at Latonya Daniels Jackson. Also Instagram, only one touch, number 1 beauty expert. Only One Touch Beauty Experts on Facebook, and on TikTok, The Tanya Touch.
I like that. I'm gonna make sure I put all the links in the description so you can see. Like, you see how her hair is so beautiful. She's also wearing her brand as well.
Nothing else.
If you are local in Connecticut, even if you're not local, if you wanted to come on down, these 2 beautiful ladies right here can hook your hair up.
So I have Facebook, I have Instagram, and so both of my Facebook and Instagram is Mellissa Clark Smith. But I have a website, so you can go on the website, and the website is mellissaclarksmith.com, and from there you can find if you want to book an appointment for your hair, if you want the Eden collection, if you're looking for Dear Sarah, all of the things will be right there on the website. And it's Mellissa, double L, double S. Please let me put that out there. That's a disclaimer. My name is Mellissa Clarksmith.com.
That is super unique.
Yes, it is.
Every time I'm looking for you, I'm like, I know she was up here. I can't.
Right.
And then I'm like, double L.
Wow.
So if you would like, please consider liking this podcast and following us for more interviews and all that good stuff, because here we are real, raw, and transparent. And this is a safe space. This is a safe space where we can tell our story. And if you have any questions for these beautiful ladies, you can definitely put them in the comments. You can message them directly, whatever, because they didn't tell the fullness of their story.
We got to come back for part 2.
Definitely got to come back for part 2. It's a lot of juicy stuff.
Right. We got to bring the popcorn.
They need to get in there.
Yes.
We need the popcorn, the M&M's, all that, because I just gave you a little.
Right, that's a scratch on the surface.
Right.
I'll take the popcorn. I'll take the juice. Can we have a couch next time?
Yes,
Can we
Right.
and get up in there? So if you enjoyed this podcast, please like and follow. Thank you so much, guys, for listening and watching to the Mama Work It podcast. Bye.
That was so cute.